The 5 secrets left behind in their abandoned house. For decades, this house has been silent. It's the kind of place everyone in town thought was empty, just a dark spot on a quiet road that people only talk about in whispers. But they were wrong. It isn't empty. It's full of memories, decay, and secrets. We went inside expecting to find dust and forgotten furniture. But what we discovered were 5 secrets that tell the unbelievable story of the Blackwood family, a family that, according to local legend, vanished without a trace in the late 1980s. And the last secret, it changes everything you think you know about disappearances. The stories you hear are the kind that get bigger and darker with time. Some say the house is haunted, that the family was taken by something that still stalks these woods. Others spin tales of mob ties, of a family that knew too much and got silenced. The story that stuck, though, is simpler and somehow even more chilling. One day, they were just gone. The car was in the garage. Mail was piling up. The people inside had just vanished. Today, we're walking through these rotting halls to piece together the clues they left behind. We're not just exploring an abandoned house. We're stepping into the final, frantic moments of a family on the brink. What really happened to the Blackwoods? We think the answer is locked inside. Story about stillness of the house. Getting in is never easy. The front porch groans under my weight. Every step a complaint against the intrusion. The wood is soft, giving up after decades of rain and neglect. The front door is swollen shut in its frame, a stubborn guardian to a forgotten world. With a firm shoulder, it gives way, not with a crash, but with a deep, wooden scream that echoes through the silent house. The air that hits you is thick, heavy. It's the smell of time itself, a mix of decaying paper, damp plaster, and that faint, sweet scent of mildew. Dust motes dance like insects in the beams of light cutting through the grimy windows. It's not just messy in here. It's still. There's this profound stillness, like we've stumbled into a moment that was interrupted. Right there in the entryway, a woman's coat is draped over a chair, like she'd just taken it off. Next to it, on a small table, lies a stack of unopened letters. The top one is postmarked October 1988. This is our timeline. This is the moment it all stopped. We move into the living room, and it's a total time capsule. A thick layer of gray dust covers everything like a funeral shroud. A huge, boxy television sits in the corner, a silent monument to a different era. On the coffee table, a newspaper is folded to the crossword puzzle, half finished. The pen is lying right beside it. I mean, who gets up in the middle of a crossword and never comes back? On the mantelpiece, surrounded by dust, sits a single framed family portrait. A handsome man with a confident smile, Richard. A woman with kind, but slightly worried eyes, Eleanor. And a young boy, maybe 7 or 8, with a mischievous grin, Thomas. The Blackwoods. They look happy. They look normal. But we know something went terribly wrong in this house. This room feels like the first chapter of a story, but all the pages have been ripped out. We're here to find them. Secret number 1, the hidden journal. Every abandoned home has a heart, a place where the family's energy feels the most concentrated. In this house, it feels like the study. It's a small, wood-paneled room off the living area, dominated by a large, imposing oak desk. The surface is surprisingly clear, except for an old rotary phone and a brass lamp. This feels like a room of business, of secrets. Richard Blackwood's room. I run my hands over the dusty surface, pulling at the drawers. Most of them are empty, totally cleaned out. But the last one, the bottom right drawer, is locked. It's a flimsy little lock, the kind a paperclip could handle. With a bit of work from a pocket knife, the lock gives with a pathetic click. Inside, nothing. Just the wooden bottom. It's a disappointment. Another dead end. But as I go to close it, my knuckles brush against the back panel. It feels loose. I push, and it gives a little. There's something behind it. My heart starts pounding. This is it. This is how you hide things. I pull the drawer completely out and reach into the dark space. My fingers close around something small, rectangular, and covered in leather. It's a journal. A small diary with a faded gold leaf border. I open it, and on the first page, in elegant, looping cursive, is a name, Eleanor. This wasn't Richard's secret. It was hers. The pages are brittle, so I turn them carefully. The first few entries are exactly what you'd expect. Notes about her garden, complaints about a leaky faucet, a proud mom bragging about Thomas's good grades. It's normal. It's life. But then, the tone starts to change. Asterisk, April 12th, 1988. Richard was late again. He had that smell on him. Not perfume, not smoke. The smell of fear. When I asked where he'd been, he just looked at me with those tired eyes and said, tying up loose ends. What does that even mean? Asterisk. I flip ahead a few pages. Her handwriting gets more frantic, more slanted. Asterisk, June 7th, 1988. There was a car parked at the end of our road last night. It was there for hours, just sitting in the dark with no lights. When I showed Richard, he pulled the curtains and told me I was imagining things. I'm not. I saw a man watching our house. Richard is keeping something from me. The silence in this house is getting louder than any noise. Asterisk. This is chilling. This is a real-time account of a happy life curdling into fear and paranoia. Or was it paranoia? That car she saw, was it real? The last entry we can find is from just weeks before the family vanished. Asterisk, September 28th, 1988. He told me we might have to go away. A trip, he called it. But you don't pack your life for a trip. He's been burning papers in the fireplace at night. He says it's for our protection. For Thomas's protection. I don't understand any of it, but I know one thing. The man I married is gone. In his place is a stranger who is terrified of the dark. Asterisk. We close the journal. The first secret of the Blackwood house isn't a ghost. It's terror, planted right here in this room. Eleanor was living in a nightmare, and she was documenting every page. Her husband was afraid of something that made him burn his past and watch the shadows. And this is just the beginning. What could be so bad it would drive a man to this? We have to go deeper. Secret number 2, the child's room and the hidden nursery. The second floor is where the family slept, where they were most vulnerable. The air is different up here, heavier. The floorboards creak with their own rhythm, each one a different note in a sad song of decay. We pass the master bedroom for now, pulled toward a door covered in faded stickers of spaceships and dinosaurs. Thomas's room. We push the door open and step into a childhood frozen in time. Posters of 80s blockbusters are peeling off the walls. Action figures stand guard on a shelf, coated in a thick film of dust. Model airplanes hang from the ceiling on yellowed fishing line, caught in permanent, motionless flight. This room was once full of so much energy, and now it's just silent. It's heartbreaking. We look through his things, school books, a baseball glove. Everything seems normal for a boy his age. But just like his mother, Thomas was keeping secrets. Tucked inside a textbook is a stack of drawings. The first few are what you'd expect, colorful sketches of cars, his family smiling in front of the house. But the last drawing is different. It's done in black crayon, pressed so hard it almost tore the paper. It's a drawing of this house at night. The windows are black voids. But in the trees, at the edge of the property, are figures. Tall, shadowy figures with no faces. Just standing there, watching. And on the chest of one of the figures, Thomas drew a small, distinct symbol, a circle with a jagged line through it, like a simplified lightning bolt. What did he see? Was this just a kid's nightmare? Or was he drawing something he actually saw from this window? It's a disturbing clue, but it's not the biggest secret in this room. In the back of his closet, behind a row of musty clothes, the wallpaper seems off. It's slightly buckled. When I press on it, the wall behind it feels hollow. We rip the paper away and reveal the outline of a small, square door, one that's been plastered and papered over. It has no handle, just a small keyhole. This isn't on any house plans we've seen. It's not a crawlspace. It's something else, something meant to be completely hidden. We jimmy the old lock, and it gives way easily. As we pull the small door open, a puff of stale, trapped air escapes. We shine a light inside, and our breath catches. It's a room. A tiny, hidden room. And it's a nursery. Unlike the rest of the house, this space is almost perfectly preserved. The air is still and dry. There's a small, white crib against the far wall and a rocking chair with a knitted blanket draped over it. A mobile with small, wooden animals hangs silently over the crib. This room was a secret within a secret. Who was it for? As far as anyone in town knew, the Blackwoods only had one child, Thomas. Was Eleanor pregnant? Did they have a child no one knew about? Or was this a memorial for a child they had lost? It's so pristine, it feels like it was prepared and then sealed away forever. This discovery changes everything. The tragedy deepens. This wasn't just a family of 3 running from a threat. There might have been a 4th member, a secret baby, and they built a hidden sanctuary for them, a room that even the monsters in the dark wouldn't be able to find. The question is, why? Why was this child a secret? We're just getting started, and this story is already heavier than we could have ever imagined. A mother's secret diary, a child's terrifying drawings, and a hidden nursery. If you think these forgotten stories deserve to be told, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join us on these journeys. You will not believe what we find next. Secret number 3, the father's double life. Every clue so far points to Richard Blackwood as the source of this family's fear. The man with the confident smile in the photo was clearly living a double life. The proof had to be here somewhere. We already searched his desk, but where else would a man who burns his past hide his biggest secrets? We head for the master bedroom. It's a large room with a heavy, dark wood bed frame. The feeling of absence is strongest in here. You can still see the faint impression of 2 heads on the dusty pillows. On Eleanor's side table, a romance novel lies face down. On Richard's, there's nothing but a lamp. This was a man who knew how to erase his tracks. We searched the room methodically, under the mattress, in the backs of drawers, behind the furniture. Nothing. It feels like another dead end. We're about to leave when my light catches something on the wall, a large, framed print of some generic landscape. It's bland, forgettable, but it's hanging just a little crooked. I go to adjust it, and the wall behind it gives slightly. My heart leaps. It's the oldest trick in the book. We lift the painting off its hook and reveal exactly what we were hoping to find: the dull, gray metal door of a wall safe. This is it. This has to be it. The safe has an old combination dial, and there's no way we're guessing it. But where there's a will and a crowbar, there's a way. It takes a solid 10 minutes of grunting and scraping, the sound of screeching metal and obscenity in the silent house. Finally, with a deafening pop, the door breaks open. We shine our lights inside, expecting cash or jewelry, something to explain a motive. But it's not that simple. There's no money. Instead, the safe holds a single, thick, typewritten manuscript, bound with a simple black clip. The title page is blank. There's no author's name. I lift it out. It feels heavy, important. I start reading the first page. It's not a novel or a business plan. It's a confession. It's Richard's life story, a life no one knew he had. In stark, unflinching detail, he describes his youth, not as the son of a respectable family, but as an operative for a shadowy corporate espionage firm. He wasn't a typical criminal. He was something far more dangerous. A man who stole secrets for a living, who ruined lives and dismantled companies from the inside, all under the guise of corporate security. He calls the organization he worked for the firm. He describes their symbol, a sigil of loyalty, a circle with a jagged line through it. The same symbol Thomas drew on the faceless man in the trees. The manuscript explains his decision to leave. He'd met Eleanor, fallen in love, and wanted a normal life. But you don't just walk away from the firm. They saw him as a liability, a loose end. This confession was his life insurance policy. He writes, "If they ever come for me, if I disappear, this document will tell the world what they are and what they do. It is my only weapon against them." This manuscript is the third secret. Richard Blackwood wasn't just a random victim. He had invited the darkness in. He was a man who had escaped a secret war, but the war had followed him home. The men in the cars, the figures in the trees, they weren't ghosts or mobsters. They were his former employers, coming to collect. And now, his entire family was caught in the crossfire. Secret number 4, the unsent letters. The pieces are starting to fit together into a terrifying picture. We have Eleanor's fear, Richard's past, and the secret of a hidden child. But what happened in those final days? What was the breaking point? The answer, we think, might be in the most ordinary part of the house, the kitchen. The kitchen is a perfect relic of the 1980s, all browns and oranges. The counters are cluttered with the artifacts of daily life. A coffee cup in the drying rack, a grocery list on the fridge. It's so normal, it's surreal. We search the drawers and cupboards, finding nothing but old spices and chipped plates. Then, on a high shelf in the pantry, tucked behind expired cereal boxes, is a shoebox. It's heavy. I bring it down, blowing a thick layer of dust off the lid. Inside aren't old photos, but letters. Dozens of them. All in Eleanor's handwriting. All addressed to her sister, Catherine. And none of them have stamps. They were never sent. These letters are the fourth secret. They bridge the gap between the fear in her journal and the family's disappearance. She was chronicling everything, pouring her heart out to the one person she trusted, but she was too afraid to even mail the letters. The first few are filled with panic after Richard finally confessed everything to her. "Dearest Catherine," one reads, "I feel like the last 10 years of my life have been a lie. The man I love, the father of my child, is a stranger. He told me everything. The things he did, the people he worked for, they are monsters in tailored suits. He says he has a plan to keep us safe, but I look at his face and all I see is the same terror I feel in my own heart." Her words paint a harrowing picture of a family under siege. But then, the letters reveal the biggest secret yet, the one that explains the nursery. Cat, there is something else. Something I haven't told anyone. I am pregnant. We found out a month ago. A little girl. We are going to call her Hope. Because that is all we have left. This is why we have to run. It's not just about us anymore. We have to save our children. Richard has fortified a small room in Thomas's closet. A place for Hope. A place they will never find. He says we will only need it for a short time, before we can leave for good. A baby girl. Hope. The secret nursery wasn't for a lost child. It was for a future one. A child they had to protect at all costs. The final letter is almost illegible, the handwriting jagged and panicked, the ink smudged by what could be tears. It's dated October 14th, 1988, the likely date they disappeared. Catherine, they're here. I saw the car again. This time it didn't stop at the end of the road. It's coming up the driveway. Richard is getting the bags. We have to go now. The plan is in motion. He says it will work. I have to believe him. If you don't hear from me in a week, take this box of letters to the police. Tell them everything. Tell them to look for us. I love you. Tell Mom I love her. Be brave for me. Ellie. Asterisk. But the letter is still here. In the box. Never sent. She never got the chance. They were coming up the driveway. The plan was in motion. They had to run, right then, into the night, with a young son and an unborn baby, chased by ghosts from a life Richard had tried to bury. Secret number 5, the escape plan. This is it. The final moments. The letter said they had a plan. An escape plan. But did it work? Did they get away? The house has given up so many secrets, but this last one is the most important. Where would they have made their final stand? Where would they have staged their escape? The garage. The door from the kitchen to the garage is stuck fast, and we have to force it. The garage is dark and smells of oil and rust. And it's empty. The family car, a big station wagon, is gone. This is the first real sign that they left, rather than being taken from the house. The space is cluttered with typical garage junk, old tools, stacks of tires, lawn equipment. We search for anything out of place, another safe or hidden compartment, but find nothing. The trail has gone cold. Dejected, we stand in the middle of the concrete floor. Is this how the story ends? With an unsent letter and an empty garage? It can't be. I lean against the wooden workbench, frustrated. And as I do, my hand presses down on a section of the tabletop that gives way with a soft click. It's a false bottom. A section of the plywood lifts up on a hinge, revealing a shallow compartment. My heart stops. Inside is a heavy metal lockbox. It's cold to the touch. This feels final. We lift it out and place it on the floor. It's not locked. We lift the lid, and the story of the Blackwood family explodes. Inside are documents, stacks of them, for passports, for birth certificates, for driver's licenses. But the names aren't Blackwood. The first set is for David Miller. It's Richard, with dyed hair and glasses. The second is for Susan Miller. It's Eleanor, her hair cut short and colored blonde. The third is for a young boy, Chris Miller. It's Thomas, his mischievous grin a little more subdued. They had new identities. A whole new life, printed and laminated. And then, we see the fourth set. A birth certificate for an infant girl. Hope Miller. They even had a plan for her. They were going to become the Millers. They were going to be born again. This is the 5th secret. They didn't just vanish. They orchestrated a rebirth. But that's not all. Beneath the documents is a road map of the United States with a route highlighted in yellow, starting right here and winding its way along back roads to a tiny, obscure town in Oregon. A place you'd never find unless you already knew where to look. At the very bottom of the box is one last thing. A single photo from a photo booth. It's of the 4 of them. Richard, or David, with his arm around Eleanor, or Susan. Thomas, Chris, is making a funny face. And Eleanor is holding a baby wrapped in a pink blanket. Hope. They're all smiling. Genuinely smiling. It's a picture not of fear, but of victory. Pinned to the back is a small, brass key. A key to a post office box. The secret isn't what happened to the Blackwoods. The secret is that they might have gotten away. They faced down the monsters from their past, and they ran. They didn't just disappear. They executed a brilliant, desperate plan. They drove out of this garage, not as the haunted Blackwoods, but as the hopeful Millers, on their way to a new life. We leave the house, closing the door softly behind us, leaving the dust to settle once more. We came here looking for a tragedy, a ghost story, and we found one. But we also found something else, a story of incredible courage. The 5 secrets we uncovered tell a complete, breathtaking story. The hidden journal of a mother's fear. The secret nursery for a child that represented their future. The father's confession that explained the danger they were in. The unsent letters that chronicled their final hours. And finally, the escape plan. Proof that their story may not have ended here at all. This wasn't a house of victims. It was the staging ground for a great escape. A story of a family that refused to be erased, fighting back with the only weapons they had: secrecy, planning, and a desperate love for each other. It leaves us with one last question. Did they make it? Are the Millers still out there somewhere, living the quiet life they fought so hard for? Looking at this picture of them smiling, you have to wonder. You have to hope. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for coming on this incredible journey with us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration.